Today's topic, do I trigger the narc? Many of my phone advice clients tell me, it's so strange, Dave. My kids don't seem to trigger the narc. No one else seems to trigger him. I am the only one who triggers him, who makes him go into a rage. He tells me I trigger him, that it's my fault. He says nobody else triggers me. Is it me? Is it my fault that he flies off the handle? Many women have this question, and the narcs convince them it's them. Here's what I say to them. 1, of course the narc says it's your fault. Everything is your fault. It will always be your fault. He'll never take responsibility for blowing up and verbally abusing you or anything else. 2, yes, you trigger him, but it's not your fault. Any woman he married would trigger him. The wife always triggers the narc. You threaten his security. You threaten his control. You can't meet his massive, unrealistic expectations. Plus, he hates women. Of course you're going to trigger him. You are the outlet, the punching bag for all his stress and anger and resentment that have nothing to do with you. The world is a terrible disappointment for most narcs, and they're never happy. Well, then you're going to catch that since you're the wife and you're available. Number 3, a tip-off that it's not your fault are the stupid, trivial, ridiculous things that trigger the narc, the dumbest things in the world. You leave a dish on the counter, trigger. He doesn't have any clean socks today, trigger. He says something stupid and you roll your eyes, which any normal woman would do, trigger. You get home 10 minutes late, trigger. Normal men aren't triggered by these petty, stupid things. They are nothing. Not to the narc. It means something. Number 4, the narc wants you to try, and keep on trying not to trigger him. He loves that game. If only you could be a better wife in every area, like all the time, you wouldn't trigger him. That's a big fat lie. You will always trigger him. He'll make sure of it. So stop all your efforts to not trigger him. Simply live your life. Stop walking on eggshells. It doesn't, as you're finding, it doesn't work anyway. He's never pleased. Number 5, when you begin getting stronger and stronger, more and more assertive, the narc will be triggered big time. Oh boy, get ready for the backlash. He's losing control of you and will do all he can to get that control back and to punish you for trying to get outside of his control. When he blows up at you for being assertive, tell him, your nasty reaction to me triggering you triggers me, and then move on. Number 6, when you leave him and file divorce, which is what I want you to do and what God wants you to do, he will be massively triggered. How dare you? Too bad, because you won't be there to hear his big triggered reactions. Now, I recommend you get my online video series, From Codependent to Independent. 21 things you must do before leaving a narcissist, small n. It will show you how to emotionally detach from the narc, which is critically important, to get stronger and more assertive, to wipe out your trauma bond, and to protect your relationship with your children. It gets you ready and strong enough to leave the narc. All right? Mr. Everything Triggers Me. You're done with him, and you should be. You'll find that video series only on my website, davideclarkephd.com. That's Clarke with an E.